Alright, this is Emiliano Velasquez and this is my CS342 Internet of Things project. So I decided to do a light sensitive alarm clock. It's not one of my original three ideas, but it's just something that I chose to implement because I thought it would be interesting. So what is basically an alarm clock that goes off once a certain amount of light is detected. So the idea is that you would have this by a window and then you would wake up when the sun comes up, for example. So that would be a pretty good way to wake up, and this would be useful for that. So I chose an Arduino Uno with two photoresistors, two passive buzzers, a remote control, and an IR light sensor. And this all came in a kit that was about 40 bucks. So the way it works is that the two photoresistors gather light, a certain amount of light, and once a threshold is passed that we define, the buzzers will sound off. And the way that they sound off is in a loud rhythmic pattern, just like a regular alarm clock. And the only way to turn them off is for the user to press any button on a remote control. Alright. So to implement this project, it wasn't too difficult. I had worked with the two photoresistors and passive buzzers before. The most difficult part was getting this infrared light sensor to work in Arduino. It's not something I've ever done before, but it wasn't too difficult. Just working out a few errors. Alright. So here I'm just defining variables, just setting up for the main loop, which is the big part of this project. And here that is. And this loop will basically run until this variable buzz is set to true. And that means that the user has pressed the button on the remote control, and that's kind of like turning off the alarm. So here's what it actually looks like. Here's the Arduino Uno, the battery. So because it's powered by a battery like this, you don't have to connect the Arduino to like a laptop, for example. So that makes it a little bit more portable. Here are the light sensors, the passive buzzers, and this in the middle is an infrared light sensor that is triggered by this remote. So the way I decided to place these two light sensors on the breadboard is far apart like this. So basically when I had them close, a small amount of light kind of like fixated on that part would trigger the alarm, which is not something that we want. We want a big amount of light like the sun coming up to set the alarm off. So setting them this far apart pretty much solved that. And as far as the buzzers, they can be close or far, it doesn't matter, they can make the same amount of sound. And here's just a better view of the components and how they're structured. And here's my window, just to show that this thing will go off if it's by window. So if you want to implement this project, I would probably add something like better photoresistors, so only sunlight would trigger them, and maybe something like a snooze button. And that's it.